Today we're talking about being present and in the moment, especially with our kiddos, our wife, our husband, our soulmate, and our family. And I'm really going to focus on the kids today. And as I always say, something happens, throughout the day, and a little light bulb moment comes on. It's like, I got to shoot a video about that. So I came home, I dropped the kids off at school, I came home, and Elfie, you guys may have seen my stories. If you haven't, go check out my stories at Yancey Culp on Instagram. Elfie had gone wild and crazy, man. He had set up this elaborate, when the kids come home from school, it's gonna be awesome because he's got this really cool, elaborate stuff set up. You guys go look at my stories and check it out. And I'm telling you, it probably didn't take Elfie 10 minutes to set this up. And I encourage you, in our crazy busy lifestyles that we have, take the time, and it doesn't take a ton of time, it doesn't take a lot of money. Just be present in the moment. When you think of something, push forward with it. I mean, we love when Elfie comes out, man. My wife and I love it. Hint, hint. And we just love being present with the kids. And this is the meat and potatoes of this topic. I am like the person I am today towards my kids is in large part because of how present my mom and dad were with me and how much love they showed me. So it's a generational thing. It just keeps how we spend time with our kids, how we act around our kids, how we love our kids, how we serve our kids, how we coach our kids. That's going to build their foundation. They have this concrete foundation being built right now. And I like to compare it to like our slab right here for the pool, or the slab for the house. That's a foundation that sets up pretty quick. But a child's foundation sets up over 18 years for the most part. And it's a slow drying process. And we every time we coach, every time we love, every time we serve, every time we lift them up when they need us, every time we coach them hard when they need it, it's like it pushes another piece of rebar into that 18-year drying, curing process on that slab. And when they leave, life's foundation is never cured, but that foundation is pretty set. It's either a solid foundation with some great structure, or it's not. So it's a pretty deep one here. I'm working with a couple right now, trying to help them save their marriage. It's worth working hard in your marriage for your kids. For your kids alone, it's worth it. If you are split, that's totally fine. It's worth communicating with your ex to make sure you are both on the same page in how you want to continue pushing productive rebar into that foundation as it's curing up and becoming more and more solid. Or is it going to be extremely fragile because you're not putting much rebar in it? I hope that's a good analogy. It's one that I've used several times. So some things that my dad... Actually, let me back up, man. I just realized I hadn't talked about my Christmas sweater yet. I love this kind of time of year because the Christmas parties happen. And there's always a couple ugly Christmas sweaters. And I love this one. I really love it this year because you guys know the last year or two, the crop tops are in. And when I stand tall, I actually show a little skin here, a little belly. This sweater is pure gold. And one of the reasons I like it, look, it's got a little bow right here. One of the reasons I like it, because it's not crazy gaudy. Like, I could go buy one at Walmart. But this was a real special sweater for somebody at one time. And my mother-in-law says it was handmade, like the little stitching needles. And I don't know what that's called, crochet or something. It's handmade, and it's not too gaudy. But you look, it's the crop top. Yancey gets to show a little skin. Good excuse to stay in shape. So not only is this going to win the ugly sweater contest, it's stylish. It might win because it's kind of ugly, but it's got a little style to it. I mean, I could see I could see somebody wearing this on the college campus, around town or something. So this will be sported here pretty soon at a couple Christmas parties. Oh my gosh, where was I? So I'm gonna give you a couple examples of things. And my mom and dad were far from perfect. My wife and I are far from perfect. You're far from perfect. But I remember some things that I do, and I can't go into details on a bunch of things. Come here, Sammy. Say hello to everybody. So when we were, you guys know Sammy. She's my best friend in the whole world. When we were growing up and we were driving somewhere, Dad almost always drove. And hop me out, sweet girl. And he would a little low battery there. He would always reach back. One hand on the wheel, one hand he'd reach back and he'd touch my sister, and he'd touch me. And sometimes he'd just hold our hands for a few minutes, and then he'd switch back and forth. I have vivid memories of that. And for as long as I can remember, since our kids have been driving in the back seats with us, I do the same thing. And that is 100% because of my dad. It's all because of you, Dad. Just moments that how Mom and Dad served us. That's one of many. So I want you to be very, very present and in the moment. I want you to take some time. You know how I talk about being selfish with your time? Make sure you get some gym time, get a run in, get some strength training and whatever. I also want you to set aside some time for your family. I don't care how busy you are. You cannot paint a picture for me that tells me that you can't provide 10 minutes of just really engaged time in the morning or in the evening, at bedtime. And some of you, you're not always home, and you're not home at the right times, but there's always time to just really engage. Elfie engaged this morning because Elfie knew that the Culp kids would just, you know, my daughter, let's just say she's playing along now. She's 13. She's a teenager. My son, Elfie is, because Elfie is real, but he's just very real to my son right now. So I'm so geeked up about just watching the look on his face and seeing his pure joy when he is playing the game. You go look at my stories, playing the game with his sister today that Elfie set up. So live, love, laugh, and serve big with your kids, your spouse, your husband, your significant other, and your close family, and your close friends. Live, love, laugh, and serve big with great intention. Be very intentional with them this holiday season. Very, very important. That's my challenge for you. And find yourself a good sweater. And listen, here's the deal. Don't be ashamed. Don't be shy. Don't hold back. When it's time, you know, you put the sweater on and you wear it with style. You add some style points with the sweater, and you stand tall and you show a little belly. And if the right song comes on in the living room or the kitchen, dance with your kids, dance with your wife. It's what we do, man. You gotta live. When I say live big with them, be a little edgy and do things that they will remember. We're gonna be gone one of these days, and those wonderful kiddos of ours will be our age, and they'll be raising wonderful kids, and they will carry the love on. Y'all be good, man. Thank you for tuning in. Keep lighting up the planet. December's gonna be a great month. Much love.